NordicFuzzCon, or NFC for short, is an amazing con located in Malmo, Sweden. Now this year I had the absolute pleasure of flying over to the con, marking it my very first European furry convention. With a fascinating location and events within the con that you might not find at a US furry con, this was an experience I won't soon forget. Now let's break down this con from the time I took off to the air till the time I left, showcasing every aspect of the trip. Maybe after this video, you too will have a desire to hit up the spectacular European events. NordicFuzzCon, abbreviated NFC, is an annual furry convention that takes place in Sweden. They made their debut in 2013 at the Quality Hotel Wynn in the city of Headless, Sweden, with a little over 170 attendees from over 10 different countries. As they continue to grow, by 2015, NFC introduced their lovable mascot Rouse, a combination of a mouse and a rat, known as Mousy, as a fursuit during the opening ceremonies. Soon after, her cousin joined the mascot duties in 2019, another Rouse named Iris. With the help of their faithful and hardworking staff and crew named Stu by the convention, NordicFuzzCon continued to reach even greater heights, leading us to the current convention that happened this year. Located in the beautiful city of Malmo, Sweden, NFC was held on February 21st to 25th of 2024 at the Clariton Hotel and Congress Live. This sparked NordicFuzzCon's 10th anniversary, with the theme being Ragnarok. A fun and inviting theme, attendees came from all over the world, majority of which were from Germany at 912 attendees, followed by their local furries in Sweden at 577 attendees. They had a cool statistics page on their website as well, if you'd like to know the full breakdown, which even includes species. Which I must again mention, why are there so many felines in Europe? NordicFuzzCon has their most successful con yet, with 57.7% increase in attendance, landing them at a staggering 3,789 attendees, making NFC not only the biggest Scandinavian con, but the biggest European con, surpassing Eurofurence. Also, the 10th largest furry con in the world to date. NordicFuzzCon is an event where you have furries from all over the country, even the world, attend this convention. So you may ask yourself, what is traveling like and what should I expect? Well, I'm here to give you a breakdown from my perspective, especially from someone who is traveling from the Pacific Northwest of the United States. So, from those that are flying from the United States, you won't have a direct flight to the convention and will have to take a train or public transit at some sort on the last leg of your travels to the con, unless you have friends picking you up from somewhere. For my trip, I had to start off flying from Seattle Airport all the way to Copenhagen Airport in Denmark, with a layover in Heathrow in London, England. So the reason for landing specifically in Copenhagen, Denmark, is that it's actually the closest location to the convention. So once you arrive in the Copenhagen Airport, there is a train station attached to it, which will take you directly to Malmo, Sweden, where the convention is only just 25 minutes away. All you have to do once you get off the plane is go straight to the ticketing machines conveniently located at the airport and buy a ticket from Copenhagen H to Malmo C, so that being the Malmo Central Station as your final destination. You can also pre-book your ticket if you like online, but the train does depart super frequently since it is a well-traveled route, so no worries about missing any rides. And the cost of ticketing is usually around 60 to 20 bucks USD, so it is very cheap to ride the train. And if you're going to Clariton Hotel Malmo Live, which is the NordicFuzzCon's main hotel, you can just sit back and relax on the train and then just exit the train station at the Malmo Central Station, landing very close to the main hotel, which is only about a 5-minute walk away. So the process overall is simple and easy to navigate, even for first-time travelers to the con. So do not stress too much. And also, there is nothing wrong about bringing a travel partner with you. So outside of flying, Europe is known for its extensive and well-routed train system. So you get train over to the con from like almost anywhere in Europe. This is a nice option if you want to do some traveling around Europe before hitting up the convention. And for those traveling by car, there is a parking garage underneath the Clariton, but the hotel does not own it. The garage is actually owned by the Malmo government, and it costs around about $25 per day for parking in USD. So there are also other parking garages nearby, but be aware not all locations are open 24/7. And NordicFuzzCon does have a map on their website listing multiple parking locations outside the main hotel for its attendees. Let's talk a little bit about the main hotel layout and accommodations for the con. Now, the main hotel is called the Clairton Hotel Malmo Live, a 4-star hotel with 3 towering glass columns connected to a big concert hall. It is conveniently located right in the center of the city, with only a 5-minute walk from the Malmo Central Station and shopping mall. Surrounding this beautiful hotel, outside is a big open area where you can fursuit and hang out with attendees, which the fursuiters love during this time of year with the cooler weather. There is also a really cool bridge walkway, a river walkway, and art pieces around the hotel that fursuiters and attendees in general enjoy taking pictures as they stroll through those areas. Inside the hotel, there are numerous floors with balconies and passages leading up and down the base of the tower. Stairs will become your best friend if you like to go up to various events throughout the con weekend, but luckily there are elevators for those with accessibility needs, or if your peepals are just tired. Right inside the convention area, when you walk into the hotel, you will see a bar area called the Living Room Bar, where you can hang out, relax, and converse with friends. And of course, grab a drink if you like. And speaking of relaxing with friends, there are fun little hangout spots on every floor of the con, which is nice if you want to spread out and find some quieter areas to chill. Now, as we move into the hotel room accommodations, I need to emphasize a couple things about them and how they differ from the US Furry Con rooms. For one, they are not like the US con rooms in that they are on the smaller side. However, this is not uncommon in Europe. Also note that when getting a room, the terminology and accommodations of a room can be different than booking that of the same room at a US con. So giving you an example, a double room is not the same as a double room in the US, for instance. Instead, it is a room with a single bed that can sleep 2 people on it as opposed to 2 separate double beds. So, make sure you note the type of room you're getting when you're going to the con. And speaking of room type, at the Clairton Malmo Live, you can select from 3 different room types. You got your normal rooms, which are your standard con experience where you can have friends over and party. The quiet rooms, if you're one of those people that want the rooms for resting only and wish to keep them quiet. And buffer rooms, which are in between those 2 room types, that are more lax rules than that of the quieter rooms. For suites, though, there are 3 types. 2 at the Clairton and 1 at the Elite Hotel. Suites simply cannot be booked like other hotel rooms. If you are interested in a suite, you have to enter the suite lottery, which will take place after registration when NFC opens. But overall, the main con hotel layout is quite nice, with cool decor, modern designs, and a huge NFC sign made by the NFC staff. And if you didn't book the main hotel, there are of course several hotels within walking distance. Examples include the Best Western, Elites, Moment, and Strawberry hotels. And of course, I must point out that to book any of these con-rated hotels, you must register for the con first. Also, they are first come, first served, unlike the suites which are obtained through the lottery. You heard right, for this year NFC tried something different by introducing 2 venues, one being the main hotel and the other being Valhalla, which is a 10-minute walk from the main hotel and right next door to the Comfort Hotel. Valhalla is a place where you can socialize and relax, situated with a large lounging area and space to play. Also, a series of events ranging from stage performances, large panels, meet and greets, and more. There is also a fully stocked bar with food, mini fursuit lounge, and a bouncing castle for those that want to partake in these activities. And side note, they also have a cool interactive wall that when you walk by it, it would react to your movements. It was touchscreen enabled. It was so cool. But overall, I found the space to be interesting, but it still was a work in progress. There were aspects of the space that didn't really give off that con feel, but more so that of a rec room space. And also, the distance did kind of at times make you feel kind of detached from the vibe and energy given at the main space of the hotel. However, I did enjoy some events like the Whispers live concert. And I am confident, though, that NFC continues to grow, that they will expand even more in this area with fun and interesting ideas and events to utilize in this space. Plus, the shuttle bus that came around every 30 minutes between the Clarence and Valhalla, it was a nice touch for those that really don't want to walk or they need most of transportation for accessibility purposes. I want to touch on registration very briefly because there is an important note I like to make regarding this con. That one major point is how registration shapes your overall experience at the con. First off, I consider this con officially line con. Why do you ask? Because no matter what event or general activity I wanted to engage in, there was a line. There was even a line for the dealer's den, which sometimes stretched up and down around the hall. Now, we all know that this can be nothing new when attending a con, especially as cons continue to grow. But what is different has to do with the spacing at the convention. The dealer's den, dance comp, music events like Furovision, it really didn't matter what it was due to the spacing constraints and how events were spread out during the con hotel. Only so many attendees could attend an event or be in the room at the same time. This led to situations like the dealer's den, where attendees were waiting for really long times, sometimes upwards to an hour, no matter what time of day, to get inside. It was so bad for me to the point where I never got to see the dealer's den at all during the con. I tried like 4 separate times to see if the line was manageable to wait in, and it never happened, so I gave up. And some popular events you couldn't really get into at all. Your only choice was to watch it on stream. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is that if you are one that loves to hit up events and activities a lot, then being a sponsor has never been more important. I would highly recommend you get a high-tier sponsorship level that gives you perks of getting into events and activities early or in specialty lines so you don't have to wait or miss out. Think of it like being at Disney and choosing between a normal pass or an ultra fast pass. And side note, the registration when you get into the con was actually amazingly quick, by the way. I didn't have to wait long at all, and also for fursuiters, they made a fursuit badge for you with an NFC tag in the holder, so attendees could get all your information that you provided on it, like your socials, for instance. Also, you could play the Gotta Catch 'em All fursuit game, which was played throughout the con. How that worked was very simple. Fursuiters at the convention who have signed up for the game will have a specialty code on their fursuit badge. When you find a fursuiter, you can ask them to see their badge and enter their specialty code in the account on the NFC website or on the NFC app, thus capturing the fursuiter. So, to conclude all this, make sure you look carefully at what registration and sponsorship you want for the con, for again, it can shape your overall experience. So, I just want to start off by saying the food there in Malmo is freaking phenomenal. The end. Let's begin by talking about the amazing open food marketplace called Malmo Salahal. It is only a 2-minute walk from the main hotel, and this place has everything you could ever want. From wood-fire pizza at the Nori Pizza, to delicious ramen at the Ramen Tabiru, to mouth-watering pasta at Poppy's, and burgers, poke, and more. And that isn't all, for there are also tantalizing breads and pastries, ice cream, to specialty cakes and coffees. This place has it all, and what makes it even better is that the food is authentic, made from scratch, absolutely delicious food without any horrible artificial flavors or additives. I mean, this food is clean and leaves your stomach feeling amazing and full. I'm like drooling at the moment, thinking about the authentic Swedish meatballs I had at this place. Oh. And I will note that this place does close around 8 to 9 p.m. on weekdays and 5 p.m. on weekends, so make note if you want to grab a bite there. And if you aren't in the mood to hit up the marketplace, that's okay, because there are also several restaurants within walking distance around the city. One place I went to with friends was called Mellow Yellow, and they had amazing food and drinks with unique outside seating area and atmosphere. Now, inside the hotel, there is the Cantina Ultramas at Taqueria, which is amazing in that it serves breakfast to all the attendees at the con in the morning. The spread is just spectacular, with a variety of different breakfast foods, meat and cheese plates, breads, coffees, and drinks. And later in the afternoon and evening, it transforms into a dining restaurant, where you can experience the authentic Latin American flavors right in the heart of Malmo to satisfy your hunger without even leaving the main hotel. Now, for the booze side of things, it can be a little tricky, especially for those that have come from US furry cons, where everything you need booze-wise is just essentially accessible everywhere. First off, if you want to buy alcohol in Sweden, it is expensive no matter if you buy it at a bar or a store. Secondly, by law, alcohol content of beer must be 3.5% or lower if you buy from a supermarket, leaving higher alcohol content or specialty beers only to be purchased at a government-owned chain of liquor stores in Sweden or at a bar directly. Otherwise, obtaining spirits would probably be your better bet, and again, be cheaper if you can get them from duty-free at an airport or on the way from another country. But luckily, for those that love to sample the local booze, they have the living room bar located right at the main hotel lobby area where you can just sit back and relax with friends and have a cold one. They even have an array of drinks, including some that were made for the con specifically, like the H2O Woo, I love that name, and a tall beer brand of the con called NordicFuzzCon Valhalla beer, which was quite refreshing to be honest. The only downside is that the bar always closed like pretty early in my opinion, so it kind of was a bummer. However, one positive is that the dances did have bars in them, so if you wanted to continue getting a drink while dancing the night away, you can. And side note, being that we are not in the US, the drinking age is 18 in Sweden as opposed to 21, though some bars might have a higher age limit. Moving along, we get to the events at NFC. Ones that we may be familiar with at other cons and those that are unique to this one. Starting with the unique event that I personally fell in love with is Furovision. Now, to give you some context, Furovision is modeled after a very well-known and recognized contest called Eurovision. And for those that don't know the Eurovision Song Contest, it is an international song competition organized annually by the European Broadcasting Union. Each participating country submits an original song to be performed live with competing countries, then casting votes for the other country's songs to determine a winner. So, as the name implies, Furovision follows a somewhat similar model for those that want to compete in this contest. Bring your voice and belt it out on a main stage in front of hundreds of spectators and 4 judges, hoping to wow them in order to be the victor. This takes place in the concert hall in the main hotel, which is the perfect stage for an event like this one. Honestly, this is a must-watch in my opinion if you attend NFC. The pure level of talent that is poured onto the stage is just something to behold, from all styles of music and backgrounds. And this year, we had opera, pop music, musicals, original songs, and more. And the stage effects and lighting really added an extra level of excitement and energy during the contest. At the end, Little Pup Milo from the US took first place with their original song, and second place was Nifo from Sevilla, Spain, with their amazing performance of Rise Like a Phoenix. Congrats to all the amazingly talented singers. You all rock. Now, this awesome idea and event that will appeal to many, it's the Maid Café. As the con explains it, at the Maid Café, you have the option of serving as a maid or a butler. And while many of our servers do it, wearing a fursuit is not a requirement. As a server, you will help greet and seat guests, take their orders while exchanging some small talk, or having pictures taken together. Once their food has been prepared by the hotel, you bring them their food and drinks on a serving tray. Now, if you like to be just a customer, then rock right up to this event and be seated by these inviting furry servers dressed in adorable maid and butler outfits. I personally was particularly loving all the cute fursuiters dressed up in their outfits as they served the guests. I want to talk about the open house and fursuit parade together, for they are both integral parts of the convention and to each other, but also for what they provide to the wider community and the non-furry attendees at Malmo. To begin with the fursuit parade, it is quite a well-anticipated event, with attendees and non-attendees alike lining up to see all the fursuiters. This event starts at the main hotel and goes on a long walk around the city of Malmo. The con does suggest that you have a fursuit handler with you, unless you're good by yourself, since there will be a ton of bystanders that will want to hug and say hello to you as you move along with the parade. Also, the city of Malmo is beautiful, so it's a great chance to tour around the part of the city in fursuit with other suitors and con staff. Moving to the open house, this is a special and unique event, For the purpose of it is to give non-furry attendees a chance to discover and experience the world of the furry fandom and meet the fursuiters and furry attendees. The open house takes place at the main hotel, which has several activities including arcade games, coloring books, mingling with the animals, and much more. And if the non-attendees wish, they can also relax in the Maid Café or attend the charity concert, though those two events require a small payment and donation. Otherwise, the event is free and all ages are welcome. All you need to bring with you is a big smile and an open mind. Now, these events are very important because they really create a dialogue between our community and the wider communities and gives everyone an opportunity to experience the magic the furry fandom has to offer. Both are great events that can create lasting memories for everyone. Get ready to put your paws together and cheer on the talented dancers in the fandom as they compete in the Fursuit dance competition and Paws on Air, a one-on-one improv dance battle. An event I said repeatedly I love attending at conventions, and this did not disappoint, with talent flooding the stage on both events. All the dancers were wonderful to watch, with some awesome dance moves that even took my breath away. And what I love about these dance events is that you got some different tastes of music and influences on dance styles that I don't normally see at a US dance event. Also, I witnessed some new emerging talent and OG ones that I finally got the opportunity to witness live in person. And in terms of entry into these events, the Fursuit Dance Comp you can sign up solo or as a group, but note they will only accept a total of 12 acts. And for the Paws on Air, they accept slots for 16 fursuiters and 8 non-fursuits. All paws on deck, the party boats are back this year at NFC. An event that is well loved by its attendees, this year they brought it back with not one, but multiple party boats. Anchored a mere 3-minute walk away from the main hotel, the Blob Baton has a spacious main hall, complemented with a lounge area, hosting nightly parties organized by its attendees in collaboration with the NFC party team. With the stage situated on the boat, DJs and musicians and different activities can be hosted with ease. And in addition, NFC brought in another ship, the Tintin, which is packed full of cozy tables, a lounge area, and a large bar. You can come by the stage on the lower floor and enjoy anything from dancing to karaoke and stand-up comedy. Both party boats allow attendees to party and dance the night away, so you don't want to miss it. Two types of dances grace the stage at NFC this year, and that being the regular DJ dances and the not safe for work dance. Both events were so much fun and bussin', drawing in very large crowds with attendees dancing till everything shut down for the night. The con even encouraged fursuiters and non-fursuiters alike to come onto the stage and dance alongside the DJs, which brought me back to the overly crowded dance stages from past cons. And the con also did the smart thing of having a couple big superpowered fans on the side of the room. Man, that was helping with a lot of airflow and cooling down the place. And as mentioned before, the bartenders were on hand to sell drinks throughout the night as well. So you didn't have to go back to your room or downstairs to grab a drink or water. Now, the NSFW dance wasn't anything I would personally go up in arms about, considering the con's definition of NSFW apparel and what is appropriate is way stricter than any of the US NSFW dances I have been to in the past. There is more to divulge on this topic, but I will highlight these particularities and my observations later on at the end of the video. And to finally wrap up the activities and events at the con, I will mention that there are many more things you can do and attend at the con that I didn't really fully cover in this video. Some of those activities and events include the Haunted House, the Trials of Ragnarok, the Party Bus, the Grimnir, live on the main stage, Viking metal band, the Nerd Market, charity concert, alcohol sampling, the arcade, and the drawing corner. Even though this isn't an event, I just wanted to take a moment to express how in awe I was when walking in the Headless Lounge at NFC. You can feel the level of love and consideration for fursuiters in every inch of this area. They had huge hanging areas for your fursuit body to dry, multiple drying racks for your heads, a freezer and ice bath for getting your cooling vest ready, and a drinking dispenser with 6 different varieties of drinks to quench your thirst. Plus, there was a big fursuit repair area if you needed to do a quick touch-up, and a lounge area with a fan that was so strong it literally knocked me backwards. This Headless lounge speaks volumes on how much NFC respects the needs of their fursuiters. And with over 50% of their attendees being fursuiters, this is a welcoming place to have at a con, especially if coming from another hotel. This also shows me that US furry conventions, honestly, really need to step up their game and stop being so lazy in this area. It kind of blows my mind that US cons don't take this much care towards their fursuiters, especially in a country where fursuiting is so huge. There really is no excuse, and I hope you as a viewer see this, or some con staffer in the United States, and talk to your furry convention and staff and your leaders about making this a priority, especially something that can be done so easily. For my final thoughts and observations of NFC, I wanted to not only give my perspective of this European furry convention, but also highlight some of the differences I have noticed when compared to my attendance at US furry conventions. So one big thing that stands out to me is that all furry European cons are 18 plus. So no minors are allowed to attend a furry con, even if they are accompanied by an adult. Now, this is the weekend attendance, mind you, and not checking out events like the open house that I mentioned in this video. Another big thing is the dress code at this convention. Now, the rules of what is appropriate to wear in public spaces and even at the NSFW events are quite stricter than that of US conventions. Some rules go as far as to exclude some communities or their apparel altogether, like pup hoods. There was even a rule this year that you can't wear rubber to an NSFW dance if it's shined up. And there was even an instance where a suitor almost got rejected by entering the con because they thought their fursuit head was too earish, which it wasn't, mind you. Now, I am all for respecting con rules, and sometimes it might be due to the rules in the surrounding country or the area they are in. I just wanted to put this out there for those that wanted to attend this convention that may enjoy certain apparel and wares and events when they're at other cons. Now, one very interesting note I found out about the con was having to do with the statistical analysis gathered by the convention regarding their attendees. If you check out the NFC website, you can see data highlighting certain subjects and their percentages, broken down into categories such as countries that attended, gender, species categories, and species. So why did I find this interesting? Well, when I was doing interviews around the con, I asked attendees, why are there such a high percentage of felines at the convention? And I didn't even see this page till after the con, but to my surprise, my observations were right, with felines being the second highest species category in attendance at NFC. I guess you could say the cat's out of the bag. Anyway, to bring this to a close, I have to say NFC is a con I would highly recommend to anyone. This con was different in some of the best ways from a US con, creating a laxer, more community-based atmosphere, where you're found most attendees just enjoying chatting with one another, no matter if they knew you or not. A con with enough unique and engaging activities and events to keep you active day and night. And fursuiters who are enthusiastically ready to give you a hug and engage with you. And a con who highly respects the needs of said fursuiters, more so than US cons. Again, check out that Fursuit Headless Lounge. God, that was absolute fire. NordicFuzzCon. It wasn't perfect by any means, with some logistical issues causing some events to be an hour or so late, and lines that could be a bit daunting at times, but it was nothing short of a blast and a memorable time. And as my first European con, I can't say enough how much I enjoyed it. This brings us to the end of the video, highlighting the many facets of NordicFuzzCon and my experiences attending my very first European convention. So, did you attend NFC this year? Or is this a convention that may or may not have sparked your interest after watching this video? Let me know in the comments. And make sure to drop a like, follow, subscribe if you want to support and see more videos from this orange doggo. Till next time, stay awesome.